real pleasure to be here today with Philipp Stradtmann. We met about 2 years ago in Hamburg when you were working enthusiastically on building a food cluster in Hamburg. Meanwhile, you have changed your position into a new role, and I wanted to ask if you could explain where you're coming from. And then the topic of this podcast is all about AI, food tech, Germany, and also the wider perspective. Please go ahead, Philip.
Thank you, Jared. I'm now the managing partner of the Good Food Creators. So we are investment company here in Germany looking for new food and beverage innovations, but I'm also very keen on all the disruptions which we expect regarding the implementation of AI in the food supply chain. And therefore, I'm already supporting some startups who are active in this area and who are just starting with the first pilot cases regarding especially R&D and driven by AI in the food sector.
What did you do before you started your company?
Before I was for around 20 years in food, so I was a managing director in different companies of the Oetker Group and also the co-CEO of a food ingredient supplier here in Hamburg. So therefore, I'm pretty familiar with the whole value chain. And my background is also in tech. So my career starts in the first wave of digitalization 25 years ago when the internet comes up in Germany, and therefore I'm always very interested in how the technology disrupts existing value chains, existing business models.
And maybe a question about your activities in AI, because you shared with me something that you've done in the Anuga last year with a masterclass. I saw that you were active in Switzerland, and you were also talking to me about a report that you're making. Could you explain a little bit more about what you've done in the last year?
Yeah, I've organized for the second time this year a masterclass AI and food at Internorga. The idea is just to present some interesting pilot cases regarding AI and food. I'm also just organizing a survey regarding the usage of AI in the food development process, and I'm pretty happy to have the chance to give the first insights about this survey on your conference in September in Amsterdam.
And so you've seen the space, right? In the last year, also devolve and accelerate in many different ways. I wanted to ask you about maybe the German perspective, since you are so submerged in that ecosystem. If you could maybe share a few good use cases of AI. Why did companies use it? What was the benefit? And in which area did they deploy the technology?
Yeah, what we see that we have already AI cases in every step of the value chain. So starting from farming to processing to marketing and to sales and also to the delivery stuff. I would like to highlight three topics which are, from my point of view, already the hotspot of AI and food. The first one is all about food waste. There are companies like Delicious Data who have already developed solutions which gives you the chance to reduce food waste as a producer, for example, a bakery chain, by up to 30%. And to organize the production quantities in a much more better way than they have done it in the past. Second example is regarding processing. Here we have in Hamburg also a pioneering company, Good Bites. They are producing, they are developing robots as cooking machines. And the most exciting issue is the software in the background. So it's also something where they start to use AI to analyze and to develop the data they generate regarding recipes, regarding usage times, and so on for the further development. And the third case is also placed here in Hamburg. It's a company called Plantineers. It's a subsidiary of a much more bigger company, a family-owned company, the Stern Viviol Group. And Plantineers developed a tool where in a very easy way, you can choose the preferences for your next food and beverage innovation. And this is a case where they also start to use the data in the background to develop further use cases.
Mhm. And so my question is, with these three cases, right? They're good examples, and I think a lot of people these days are wondering, is AI the next blockchain? There was a lot of hype about that, and in the end, it didn't really maybe have the impact that everybody was expecting.
Hmm.
And the question related to this is actually, when you've seen these three cases, I'm not sure how close you've been to the implementation of it, or maybe if you've understood the context of why they started, where they are, and maybe the most important question is if you have an idea of why they have been successful in
Hmm.
applying it.
Hmm. Regarding your comparison, Gert, with blockchain, I think there's a huge difference in three ways. The first one is that the investment which is needed to start your own AI pilot case is pretty low. The technology is proven. Second one, it's also with a low level of training possible to enable a large size of employees in your company to use it. And the second one, it's also pretty easy to identify and to start limited pilot cases to generate first experiences. So regarding your question, what I see, what I know, the insights I get is that regarding limited investments at the beginning, everybody is happy about the first results because they see significant progress regarding time, regarding capacities. So if we are talking in the first step about how to hire efficiency, then the first results are very positive and very motivating.
And what is a limited investment in your view in terms of time or capacity or investment in euros?
No, the biggest limitation here Gerhard, is knowledge. So it's typically what you have with all upcoming new technologies. So it's a combination of a lack of knowledge. And it's not about how to use ChatGPT. It's more to have enough native digitals in your company which are used to use all these tools. So this is one obstacle. The second one is much more a culture issue. So is the organization open enough, agile enough, just to start without a big strategy, without a specific budget, just to take one potential problem, one issue, and to test a possible solution by AI. And what I learned from the experts that this cultural issue is at the end often the much bigger obstacle than any questions about money and time and so on.
And what do you mean with culture? Apart from being open or maybe closed or innovative or maybe more sort of ongoing, regular,
Yeah,
stable.
it's something which is the mantra in the Silicon Valley. Just to start things and just to try it, and at the end to do it in the clear understanding of that you have to fail faster. So to try something to see, okay, is AI a potential solution for it? If not, let's pick up the next problem, the next issue, and go on and go on and go on. So it's also a bit in correspondence to new agile project development methodologies like Scrum and so on, that you are open and flexible enough and not looking for a big plan, a big project structure, and so on.
Mhm. And so when companies start doing this, is this a top-down decision or is the bottom up? Or can you do it bottom up without maybe having the total approval of the CEO? Just do it and show. And what's the idea? How to fly?
Yeah, it's often a combination. If I'm looking at one case, the team starts a AI project bottom up, but um, at a specific moment you need the commitment of the top management,
Mhm.
and this is also an obstacle. Is the top management open enough for it? And it's also a question of not invented by me. So is the top management fine that this initiative comes bottom up and was not initiated by them, not guided by them, and so on. So also to be open that that you have in your organization some people who are a bit smarter than you.
Well, that's what a CEO should do, right? Hire people that are smarter than himself.
Yeah, yeah. In the best case, yes.
Okay, definitely. So my question would be about, okay, you have a company that's relatively open, innovative, is ready to maybe look at it and see what they can do with it. The question would then be, okay, what is a roadmap to get there? And why I'm asking is that I spoke to some companies and they said, well, for us, the first phase is like a half a year period or a year to gather all sorts of use cases of all sorts of suppliers because, we're not in this business and we meet all these people and they all tell us they promise to go to the moon, right? Or even
Mm,
further. So
mm,
how can we judge who's successful or maybe able to help us to get there? And then their roadmap is by collecting a lot of those use cases
yeah,
and then review which
yeah.
one can have most impact and a short time, present it maybe internally and look at it like a project management and comparing different options. Is that what you've seen as well?
Absolutely. I think this is what you described is a perfect way. But just to give you one first insight from my survey, I think what is needed to get all these use cases, to get all this knowledge, is to be well connected, not only within your company, but also outside with universities, with scientists, and especially with tech startups. So I'm totally convinced that shareability. So we are not talking about networking, but the ability to share your knowledge with others is at the end key to exactly go this way you have just described it.
Hmm. And yeah, where are then the best places to go for? if you are sort of, if you would come to me, right, and I have a food company, say, well, this is what you should do. Huh? Just look beyond, because otherwise you're too isolated, and you can pick up some know-how from other places. Are there some hotspots in Europe where you could go, or is it all with consultants? Uh, what do you do?
I think at the end it's not limited on a specific place, but Gert, if we are talk about food and deep knowledge in food, I think it's obvious that Wageningen is a very important place, truly a lighthouse regarding the food issues. If we are talking about AI, we are mostly talking about the US. We are talking about China. Europe is not really in a leading position regarding AI, but there are also some promising startups. Take the colleagues from Belgium, take the food pairing guys who are working on AI solutions. So I think at the end it's not limited on one place, especially if we are talking about the combination of AI and food.
Okay, yeah, I think that's what I've heard as well. In but I also spoke to some bigger companies, and they say, well, this is such a fast-moving area. We're trying to implement it, get the benefits from it. Inflation is high, so if we can save money, let's go for it. That's really a top-down kind of guideline. Focus on it because we can really scale maybe and
Yeah,
save money.
yeah.
On the other hand, then to really have the time to understand the European landscape about where things are happening and where you should go for is for some of them quite a challenge because they're so internally focused. And that was also the reason why I came to you for that question. Do you see the same thing if you talk to bigger companies?
Absolutely, and you have this is always again astonishing for me. You have so deep knowledge, especially if we are talking about processing, about specific machineries. There was a roadshow of Siemens for the last months with really highly insightful case studies from the processing side, and it's incredible how many AI-driven solutions already are in implementation and
Hmm.
already create significant results. And therefore, Gerhard, I'm very happy to have the chance at your conference to give a broader overview about all these use cases, because it's exactly as you have described, that in this moment it's pretty challenging to have a good overview about well-proven use cases, potential partners, relevant software, and so on. So we are on a very early stage where a lot of things are happening
Hmm.
in front of the curtain, behind the curtain. So it's helpful if you will if you will give guidance on your conference.
Yeah, well. That wasn't the purpose of my question, but thank you for bringing it to that area because we're gonna do indeed a masterclass on use cases in the different areas which we have defined for maybe AI and food tech implementation. And we're very happy with that. And also for the listeners to this podcast, Philip is going to do a presentation on how to get AI to fly in your organization, some of the things we discussed. And yeah, maybe you have a top 7 or a top 10 things how to get it to the next level. Because that's, I think, where a lot of companies are still looking for. And that is hopefully where we can help. And you can help as well with your specific know how. So, yeah, with that, I wanted to ask you if you have a one-liner for maybe the listeners to the podcast to inspire them or to challenge them or to bring them to a next level.
Yeah, so it's pretty clear. Use the chance. Come beginning of September to our conference in Amsterdam. I think it's a great and perfect chance to get a very broad overview, not only to connect but also to share knowledge. And to create at the end the partnerships you need to be a successful pioneer in AI.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I think that's the little bridge to what our aims are with the summit. We started this podcast with what were the success factors for these companies, like the bakery company, delicious foods, were they called? Delicious
The
data.
delicious data, delicious data.
Delicious data. So this was like a one-on-one implementation in an organization. We spoke a bit about a blockchain versus AI. I think what we are looking for to achieve a community where you can be in touch on a regular basis, where I think the collaboration part in the value chain to really change the food system is so important. And there are many challenges there in the future, how to share data, how you can collaborate, about trust, risk management, liability, governance, all sorts of things that are not yet so much important at company level, but between companies, it's so important. And then you have to start to see each other, to sniff, to maybe taste, hug, anything else that you need to do to understand the other partner. And then you can talk about the technicalities about how you exchange all those things. So
Yeah.
hopefully with your presentations and your valuable input, we can also contribute to giving that bigger perspective of partnerships and collaboration.
Happy
So
to share.
once again, good. Thank you so much for now, and we'll see you in September.
Happy to see you.